Jeranism, Jesuit-educated propagandists, helping spread BS on the internet, helping play a crucial role in demeaning the truth community, which is what the flat earth psy-op is. And it really is unfortunate how many of you guys don't have enough intelligence or discernment to know that that's exactly what it's been since it got here. It's really a lack of intelligence thing. There's really no other explanation for it. I know that hurts your feeling because nobody wants to be called dumb or stupid or lacking intelligence, but facts are facts. And, you know, the truth bears no scrutiny. What does bear a lot of scrutiny is the flat earth psy-op and all the dummies who fall for it. And Jeranism is one of these fraudsters who I doubt for a single day has ever believed the earth is flat, but has made himself quite wealthy through it, gotten more fame than he'd probably have gotten doing anything else. And a lot of people do things for fame and money that they would otherwise not do. But if you look into Jaren's mother, very Catholic woman, she died unexpectedly November 18th, the 322nd day of the year, 2019. Rebecca Ann McLaughlin of Gilroy, California, passed away unexpectedly at her home, Monday, November 18th, 2019. Again, her child is Jeren Campanella. That's Jeranism. Sounds a lot like Jesuitism, who is Jesuit educated. Again, very Catholic. Notice from her July 1st birthday to her November 18th death was exactly 20 weeks. You think Catholic Church, you think the cross. A lowercase t is a cross. It's the 20th letter of the alphabet. It's a symbol of death. Death, cross, time, and seasons are all 20. The pagans use the cross as a symbol for the 4 seasons. And again, San Jose related family. That's where Jeren went to the Jesuit school, Bellarmine. But San Jose also has the 20. If you run it in reverse, 43. She died on the day, leaving 43 days left in here. Jeren was also in high school at Bellarmine with the current mayor of San Jose, and she just happened to die on his birthday as well. We'll get to that because it's quite interesting. Now, another way to look at this is you could say she died 140 days after her birthday. Again, a year to the day almost of Jeren's big film. It was a year and 3 days later. We'll come to that point. Jeren's behind the curve where he makes himself look like a total retard, proving that the earth isn't flat, which he still grifted on for years after because it still paid the bills. And even if these religious people see that their religion's totally debunked, they move on anyway because they're caught up in their ego, which is pretty much all religion is. Anyhow, July 1st, 2019, her birthday, to her death, you could also say was the 141st day of her age. And her son, who just got more fame than ever, almost a year to the day of her death, her unexpected death, went to Bellarmine College Preparatory, which equates to 141. And again, you can see it was on the birthday of the mayor of San Jose. He was not yet the mayor, but he was in school at the same time Jeranism was at Bellarmine. He's actually 2 years younger, but these guys were classmates at this exclusive Jesuit prep school. And again, you look into these Jesuit schools, you usually come from some money to go to them. They're usually quite expensive. You don't see many poor kids at the Jesuit school unless they want to bring you on an athletic scholarship. Last time I checked, Jeren was no athlete. He became the 66th mayor of San Jose, which is also strange because his mother dropped dead at 66. Now, Jeren's birthday is June 1st, right? June 1st. And from his birthday to his mother's death was 170 days later. Sacrifice 170. You could also say it was the 171st day of his age, which is the 18th triangular number, like she died on the 18th. IHS, the Jesuit acronym in their logo, equals 18, standing for Jesus Hominum Salvator. Again, she died November 18, 2019. That was a year and 3 days after Jeren's film Behind the Curve came out, where he's a major focus, along with his Globebusters buddy, who's also dead. Mark Sargent is the bigger star. And I you know what? I should look into this in relation to Mark Sargent. Mark Sargent's the... in the film, Mark Sargent wears a 68 on the back of his shirt throughout much of the film, like CIA equals 68. Again, founded by Jesuits in a major Jesuit ritual. Mark Sargent lives at home with his mom. Like, that doesn't promote stereotypes. A 50-some-year-old conspiracy theorist who lives with their mom. Does that sound like a purposeful stereotype? Mark Sargent, who I forget in what video, he talks about how he never had more money in his life. He'd never been so well compensated until he started promoting the flat earth. Wonder where the motivation is. November 15th, the day Behind the Curve came out, is the day leaving 46 days left in the year. Notice, it stars Jaron Campanella and Bob Knodel of Globebusters, and Bob Knodel's now dead. And notice the film ran 95 minutes, huh? Who likes 95? Is that a big Jesuit number, 95? Yeah, it is. Is that an hour and 35 minutes, like Central Intelligence Agency equals 135? Going with Mark Sargent's 68 shirt he wears in the film. But again, November 15th leaves 46 days left in the year. Jaron was part of the Globebusters team, which equals 46, like sacrifice, like Genesis 46 is about sacrifice. Catholic and religion also equal 46. I didn't put the word religion up here, but it's another 46. So is Sol Invictus, which is, the important day to the Catholics, which they now call Christmas. And Bob Knodel died at 62. Sacrifice equals 46 and 62. He died on April 6th. 4-6 at 62. Again, Jaron went to Bellarmine, 46 and 62. Here's Bob Knodel, born November 6th, dead April 6th. He died 1,603 days after the film came out, a bit like 163, the 38th prime, where death, murder, killing, and RIP are 38. But from his birthday to his death was his 152nd day of his age. Flat Earth equals 152. If you don't know Bob Knodel's claim to fame, he pretended to be a pilot. He lied for many years about being a pilot, and that was his authority on the Earth being flat, and then it was proven that he wasn't a pilot. So con man was Bob Knodel. That's his legacy. Probably still be breathing if he hadn't sold his soul for the Flat Earth psy-op. Great legacy, Bob. Hopefully there is forgiveness in the afterlife. Jaron's birthday, June 1st. The Jesuits, they handpicked their agents by the numbers. Do you find it curious that Jaron's born on the 152nd day of the year? Loses his wingman, Bob Knodel, the fake pilot, on the 152nd day of his age? Now, if somebody does their homework, they're going to realize that Jaron was born in a leap year. So his birthday does fall on the 152nd day of the year 3 out of 4 times, but he was born in a leap year. So technically, he was born on the 153rd day of the year. Remind me how important that number is to the Jesuits. Notice Behind the Curve that runs 95 minutes, the Jesuit calling card number. Behind the Curve, 144.72, like Jesuit order. Again, 72 demons in the Goetia, at least 72 demons running the Flat Earth psy-op, who are mostly all former felons, total losers and rejects. Jesuit order, 153 in reverse. Jaron Campanella, 54, like Jesuit order. Like their headquarters is the Church of the Jesuit, Building 54. You know what, you guys? I was on TFR, and again, I was invited to that network, and I was the black sheep of the network. Sometimes I think they put me on there just so they could have one legitimate person on there. At this point, I am convinced that this was probably not an accident, because they had the death of 2 hosts, and Jaron was on TFR. And you know what? Here's what I will say about Jaron. Jaron was the one who advocated for me to get a show on there, which I thought was weird at the time, because he wasn't like really a friend of my work, and he was trying to debunk it at points. But he did want me to have a show on TFR, which I didn't really understand, but I didn't complain. I wanted to get my work out anywhere. So when TFR invited me to come on, I came on. And understand, TFR didn't pay us. All of that show that I did, 3 hours every night, Wednesday, that's volunteering time. Some people on that network were paid, like Kev Baker, because he was on there, like 6 hours a day every day until he passed away. But truth frequency did equal 201, and it was established on Remember the 5th of November, the Jesuit treason date. And ultimately, look at what TFR was pumping outside of my show. One guy had a health and nutrition show, which I advocated for. I don't know if there was a single other show on TFR that I cared for. Almost all of them were either flat earth shows or got into the Donald Trump mania, or Bible thumpers. Bible thumpers, flat earthers, and Trump mania, or covering all 3 things. And I mean, it is wild how truth frequency does have the 201, 177, 69, like the Jesuit order, and it was established on Remember the 5th of November. I was willing to give it the benefit of the doubt that it was just founded on that date because it was following the V for Vendetta thing, which got a lot of people like calling out government and tyranny and fascism, but people miss that the whole V for Vendetta was based on the Guy Fawkes character who comes out of the Jesuit treason of November 5th when they tried to blow up British Parliament. But yeah, now that I look at it and just the weird deaths of Rob Skiba. Remember, Rob Skiba just dropped dead on the day, leaving 79 days left in the air, and the media did him dirty. And Rob Skiba and I didn't have any. Again, I never met anybody in the flesh ever from TFR. I broadcast through that network on Wednesday night through the Skype platform and logging into the account they gave me on there. But some of the TFR people were a lot closer, and they'd have little get-togethers. I was never part of any of that in all the years I was there. Anyway, it was weird when Rob Skiba died on the day, leaving 79 days left in the air. And remember what the media did? The media made fun of him because he was on the record saying, that people were going to die from the COVID vaccine. And then they said that he died from COVID-19. And then the media said, oh, dumb conspiracy theorist dies from COVID-19. And again, you guys might recall that Rob Skiba, he said he put together that $150,000 animation right before his death. And go back and look. It begins with a big 201 on the screen. He had to put 201 on the screen at the beginning of the animation. So it's like, Rob Skiba, big Bible thumper, flat earth guy. I can't remember if he was one of the Trump guys or not, but flat earth was definitely his thing. So yeah, I'm just looking at all this now and I'm thinking, maybe TFR really was part of that operation too. They needed a black sheep on the network to give them some street cred. Anyway, do you really think this is all a coincidence with Jaron? Jaron, Bellarmine College Preparatory, all-boys school, founded May 8th. Interesting date, isn't it? Can be written 8-5 like Jesus Omnium Salvator, first Jesuit Pope, Pope Francis, 58, became a Jesuit in 58. Big secret society number. And just say Jeranism out loud. Doesn't it sound like Jesuitism? Jeranism, 35. Jesuitism, 35. Holy See, 35. Catholic, 35. If you guys ever want to look up definitions of words, always search 1828 definition. Because the Orwellian thing took over after 1828. You want to see what words actually meant to people when this country was being founded? Remember, founders warned about the Jesuits and how they could destroy this nation through subversion. The 1828 definition of Jesuitism is principles and practices of the Jesuits: cunning, deceit, hypocrisy, provocation, deceptive practices to effect a purpose. How does that fit in with flat earth? By the way, when Jaron's wingman died on April 6, 2023, that was 56 days before Jaron's birthday. It was also 44 weeks after Jaron's last birthday. Jaron was still 42 at the time. Society of Jesus, 56. Jesuit, 42. Here, again, the closer. Jaron founded his Flat Earth channel on the 37th day of the year. So let's just look at Flat Earth in the base ciphers. 37, right? Perfect day to start a Flat Earth channel. Flat Earth, when you run the alphabetic order in reverse, is 152. Jaron born on what's typically the 152nd day of the year. Bob Knodel dead on the 152nd day of his age. The 53. Bob Knodel died on 53 date numerology, April 6, 2023. Jaron's mother died in the 53rd week since the release of Behind the Curve, which starred him and Bob Knodel. And again, just to see what a goon Jaron is. Shout out to Evan, who runs the channel, The Sports Critic. Evan recently went on Jaron's thing, and Jaron started making fun of Gematria and the idea sports could be rigged, but Evan had the clip of Jeranism back in 2017 explaining how the one thing that Jaron really liked about my work is how it pulled him out of sports. He was a diehard Giants fan, and he couldn't deny my work. It was undeniable how rigged sports were. And again, the thing is, you guys, in 2016, 2017, the years before that, it was so easy to call these sports games. It's still very lucrative, but it's not as lucrative as it was back then. Back then, nobody could say anything because I was just calling every future. I was putting it out for free. Everyone was seeing it. Jaron did a video about listen, man, Zach pulled me out of it. These games are rigged. It's undeniable. So now here's Jaron years later going, oh, Gematria is bullshit and sports games aren't rigged. And so Evan had the recent clip of him from just a few weeks ago saying that, and then played back what he said in 2017. again, these are disingenuous people. And you can imagine that Jaron, just like a lot of people have had a talking to, and, can't be on board with that anymore. Can't endorse the work, can't talk about the games being rigged. Again, we're shadow banned over here. This information is suppressed because it's one of the only things going on the internet that actually exposes anything. Everything getting the views is just nothing but bullshit and entertainment and people falling in for the agendas. But yeah, this stuff is real. This stuff is real. Hey, by the way, his mother was dead or born in 53. Dead in the 53rd week since the release of the film. Unexpectedly. At a relatively young age. 66 for a woman, that's pretty damn young. And here's the other thing, too. I just know Jaron is a goon and a shitty human being because, again, I'm going to go back to whatever year it was, 2015, 2016. He got a hold of me. He said, listen, we want to interview why you won't get on board with the flat earth thing. This is before I even had my show on TFR. Because, again, I've been around. I mean, people know who I am. I was one of the only online conspiracy channels on YouTube that wasn't really getting into the flat earth thing. I mean, almost everybody got into it. Everybody who was known pretty much went with the flat earth thing. It was like me and Red Silver J. We were like the only ones that were like, no, we're not flat earthers. And Red Silver J didn't like my work either, to be fair. But we're like just people whose names were known in that time. I mean, some of the only people who never hopped on board with the flat earth thing. So Jaron wanted to know why I wasn't getting on board with it. Zach, can't you see it's the trend? Can't you see this is the wave? Can't you see this is what's going on? Why aren't you getting on board with it? So he said he wanted to have a casual conversation about that. He said, listen, I don't want you to be studying up on things or doing your research about why the earth isn't flat. He said, I just want to have a conversation about why you're not getting into the flat earth thing. So when I pick up the phone that night to do the interview, it's him and his wife, and they're just going back and forth. And I mean, it was just right into pop quiz mode. Zach, why is this? It's just nothing but quizzes. There was no casual. I should have just hung up the phone. And again, if you guys know how I was always on the grind. Just like I'm always on the grind. Work from early in the day till at night. It was like at night time, so like 9 p.m. after grinding for 12 hours already all day. And now I'm getting pop quiz about every last thing that I mostly haven't even studied since middle school, high school. And then again, it's like 2 hours of this. And then I get one thing wrong, and he puts that clip out on the thing. And understand, Jaron had a lot bigger channel than I did at the time because Flat Earth just blew people up. So it's just like, I mean, how douchey. I mean, okay, I answer one thing wrong, and then you make a video about that. What about the other 2 hours where I wasn't wrong about any of it? You look like a jackass a decade later because the Earth isn't flat, and now you even come around to it because you went down to Antarctica. And honestly, at this point, that's probably just his part in the script. It's time to go, oh, I guess it's not flat. I went down to Antarctica and I was proven wrong. Then again, I see what he's doing on his channel. It looks like he's still trying to go back into the flat earth thing because that's where the money is. Jaron, just tell us it's flat and we'll send the shekels back. So... And yeah, for anyone who thinks this is rude to do about Jaron, I already know the guy's a disingenuous douchebag. I mean, again, we know that people sacrifice their family in the world for fame. We know it's a Jesuit connection. Trump, Trump especially. But Jaron's another one of them. Another Jesuit-educated person playing his spot on the chessboard, working one of the biggest psychological operations known to man, which is the Flat Earth psy-op. And again, none of you guys can deny it. All you have is insults and things like, oh, you're just too close-minded. What? It's flat. It's like, no, none of you guys have any logical sentences to explain how it's flat. It's so easily to debunk that it's not flat. It's painfully obvious. It's like completely pathetic to think it is flat. It's been easily debunked from day one. But somehow, some way, this is some kind of... And again, I don't hear anyone ever refer to the word cult with flat earth. I'm sure there are people that do, but I don't hear it very often. It is a legitimate cult. And people always want to throw the cult at what we're doing over here. It's like, we're only promoting knowledge over here. Knowledge. Real knowledge that's usable and provable. Like this. Like this. And it is a fact that Bob Knodel's a fraud and a liar. R.I.P. They say don't speak ill of the dead, but I'm sorry, those are just facts. He claimed to be a pilot, but was not. You got Mary coming in the chat yesterday, essentially riding on the coattails of lies like that. 80% of pilots are flat earthers. There's literally 0% of pilots are flat earthers. None. Wolfie, 6. Here, I'm going to close out with this. I went over 30 minutes, didn't I? Sweet lady's going to be like, that was more than 30 minutes. Again, Wolfie 6020 is an actual pilot who's been debunking the flat Earth. And if you ask Wolfie 6020 what inspired him to do this, he'll tell you that it was yours truly. He saw me trying to speak out against this flat Earth thing as soon as it hit the ground in 2015 on YouTube. And he got into the race as a pilot up in the sky. Again, you can see right there, you can see the curvature from where he's flying in the air. Here's a real pilot who does real videos from the cockpit of his commercial aircraft. Flat Earthers, why don't you care about Wolfie 6020's proofs that he's been put? I mean, and he's a really nice guy. Never talks mean, never insults Flat Earthers, just extremely patient, coming back with and just a very intelligent man too. Performs great experiments to show Flat Earthers how you can prove the Earth isn't flat. You look at his comment section, nothing but haters and trolls. He's not a real pilot. Bob Knodel is. So the guy who claims to be one that's not is the real pilot, but the guy who's flying in a plane recording a video for you is the fraud. I mean, how bad are you guys? Notice Wolfie 6020 is still breathing too. So I don't know if there's an irony to Bob Knodel dying in 62 now that I think about it, but anyway. I got to get off. Shout out to King Richard. Zach, did you see the supposed Taylor Swift concert stabbing? Suspect gets sentenced to 52 years. Liverpool stabbing. The heart space, all 52. Yeah. And again, he pleaded guilty 38 days after her birthday, like death, murder, killing, RIP are all 38. Pat's son died 201 days before Dolph's birthday. Yeah, go figure. Go figure. And remember, young Dolph did that tweet on the 201st day of the year about how to make money for your family, you got to sacrifice. He put that out on the 201st day of the year before he got killed on November 17th. Real Talk says, I got 2 Grand Slam sacrifices to cover next time. All right, I got to get off right now, but I look forward to it. And yeah, if anybody else wants to do research on the criminals that are the flat earthers, again, I mean, ODD reality, rapist, who's back in prison. Go figure. Richie from Boston, felon, who beat somebody nearly to death with a baseball bat and who's been scamming since before even Flat Earth came around and is still scamming to this day. Just total scammer, total liar. I don't know how he has any supporters. I mean, you talk about really dumb people. Santos Bonacci, released from prison, Flat Earther. Just insane asylum. I forget the other people in that cult, but there's a lot of bad people in the Flat Earth cult. A lot of the big names are bad people. And I don't know. So does that not appeal to you guys? I mean, the Earth's obviously not flat. Does it not appeal to you that the people who are leading on the charge are con men and liars and dying by the code and Jesuit educated? No, the Jesuits didn't discover the spherical Earth. Yes, the heliocentric model, which said the spherical Earth's at the center, or excuse me, not at the center, but the sun is. That did happen in the time of the Jesuits, and it does have the Jesuit Catholic Church fingerprints all over it. But again, that doesn't mean it's false. The Jesuits are technologically advanced. Technology is a real thing. They're using the technology of the times to surveillance and control humanity. Again, just because the Jesuit fingerprints are on it doesn't mean it's false. Again, not everything can be totally blanket statements, all or nothing. You got to discern. Not the shape of the Earth that matters anyway. Again, it's what's going on Earth. And this kind of stuff matters. Jeranism? I mean, here, I'm willing to say this too. I'm willing to say that somehow this is all a coincidence. I'm willing to say that Jaron didn't sacrifice his mom. I'd like to hear him out in his own words. I don't trust the guy. I know he's a scumbag and a liar. But maybe somehow, some way, it's all just a coincidence. Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it's a coincidence with Bob Knodel. Doesn't look like it's a coincidence with what happened to Rob Skiba. These are all the same numbers over and over. Rob Skiba dead on the day, leaving 79 days left in the year. Society of Jesus, 79. Murder, 79. The ABC murders, 79. And here, one more thing. I just want to remind you about the Murder by Numbers poster. The numbers on the poster. Remember, you have the orange 7 and orange 9 around the words. You have the 3883 in the words, murder 79, 83, 38. But you add up all the numbers counting down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That adds up to 45 because 45 is the ninth triangular number. But you also have this 3 over here, 48, and you have this 8 over here. That's 56. And this movie, Murder by Numbers, came out on a special day to the Jesuits, Ignatius of Loyola Day, the first superior general who died in the year 1556. And again, just the Agatha Christie novel about this subject, the ABC murders, is 5679, like Society of Jesus. Why are these numbers all connected to the deaths of the famous flat earthers? And again, I don't have the information on where some of these other guys went to school. I wonder if they're Jesuit educated too. So if you're out there and you want to help stop the flat earth psy-op, maybe this is the way to do it, through Gematria. Maybe Gematria is the thing that puts an end to the flat earth psy-op. If we can expose that all these guys are criminals, felons, and perhaps part of this Jesuit fraternity that runs big tech that loves to demonize the truth. And what better way to do it than by polluting the truth with the biggest psy-op there ever was, led by goons like Jeranism. All right, Truth Seeker, until next time.